Hey guys, it's Chris. Hope you're having an amazing day. Mine's going pretty okay. So, Superman Legacy, or now just Superman, releases this year. And I'm beyond excited to finally see what James Gunn can do outside of his comfort zone. He's been put to task with a larger than life character, a symbol, like Superman, and he's usually used to doing movies about lower and lesser known characters, but ends up making them into household names and characters people love. This is what people call the Gunn formula. And as a Gunn goon, yes, that's what they call the fans of James Gunn now, at least the Zack Snyder fans. Of course, I'd be excited about this movie. And for everyone who isn't exactly cynical or everyone who doesn't see the character as boring, Superman is probably a lot of people's favorite superhero. And it's about the adaptations. A lot of people like the Justice League animated series, the Superman animated series. Maybe they like the Zack Snyder movies. Maybe they like the old Reeves movies. Either way, an adaptation has touched somebody's heart and made them have hope. And with all the excitement in the air right now, I just want to put out my honest truth about Superman, about this movie, and about this universe as a whole. So, we're going to go through the promotional material that we've had so far, the trailers, the pictures. We're going to talk about what works, what doesn't, what we know about this movie, and I guess the truth about this movie. Will it hold up to everybody's expectations, or will it be another DC disappointment? Let's talk about it. What really worked for me, seeing these trailers, seeing the promo images for the most part, and seeing the overall world of Superman off the rip, I guess the best compliment I could give it is just the tone. I feel like posters are more important than we give them credit for. I really love movie posters. They're a good representation of the art that they stem from, and they show elements of the movie without giving away the whole entire picture. For the most part, some posters do give it all away. But this movie has a lot of really good promotion going for it, and a lot of really good tone setting for this character to get the audience actually engaged with it. And I know superhero movies have been flopping a lot recently. I know a lot's been happening with the whole market of being in the comic book universe where everything's connected. You have to watch this and this. I feel like this is a good broad stroke introduction. To get kind of into these promotional pictures just really quickly, I feel like the first one was a miss, mainly because, like I said about tone and how important it is for a movie like this, I feel like this doesn't really set the tone in a good way. And that's not anything to say this picture is really bad, this is just a horrible picture of Superman. And I feel like it isn't. I just feel like it isn't the best for a first look, a promotional image. But the rest of these pictures, the next two, happen to be some of my favorites. So kind of going into this off script for a bit, as these photos were being released and as this movie was getting promoted, I was sitting through the whole entire thing. I was keeping track hour by hour, day by day to see what would come out. I stayed on my phone more than I actually usually do. And for me to experience the shock and awe seeing these get released, it changed everything. Now, these next two pictures, both of them, they really mean a lot to me. But the second one, the last, most recent one that got released, not that one, the one before that, I loved it. I love this art style that they went with. It's very reminiscent of old Superman comics, old Superman media. I love the symbol. I love the suit. I feel like the way the legs cut off is powerful. I love everything about it. And even with the additional logos, even with the additional title, this is a perfect movie poster for what they're trying to go for. And it sets the tone perfectly. Same with the crypto promo image. I feel like both of these set the tone amazingly. But enough about pictures. The most important thing nowadays is the teaser, and the teaser for the teaser. Yes, that is stupid, but that's how they do it. Now, the week both of these came out, I was on the edge of my seat, hoping and praying this teaser would make me cry. Like, I'm being serious. This had to be something that changed me after watching it. I had that high of an expectation, honestly. And, that might sound crazy, but when you have a director like James Gunn, where you have all these characters he's worked with, all these movies he's worked with, where he has made something beautiful out of a source material that most other directors wouldn't even see the beauty in, you have to understand the hype that was around at this time. And oh my God, let's talk about teaser number 1. The second I saw the Daily Planet as an actual planet, I felt like how LeBron fans feel seeing LeBron fans, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. The whole entire cast, which is a lot of civilians, a lot of people all looking up at something, and we get the slight, ever so slight shot of Superman flying. I could tell we're in for something. And this isn't even the strongest thing. The theme, the score going on in the background, how soft and how reminiscent it is. I love it. I love it. But enough just about that trailer, that teaser. Let's get into the real deal. If you want to watch actual breakdowns, you might want to go to New Rockstars. But to put this in the strongest wording possible, this trailer is the personification of a better tomorrow. We get to see Superman saving people throughout this trailer. We get to see how he acts when he's faced with adversity. We get to see some of the enemies he'll be fighting. We get to see a lot of the caring and loving nature of him. A lot of this trailer shows some of the ideas that James Gunn can play around with. An already established universe with a lot of heroes around, a lot of villains already around, and a lot of this being a bit of a group thing. And I hope it doesn't fall too far into that, but we'll get more into that later. And there's a lot of Clark in this, and that's what I love so much about this. Clark has such good characterization in the few moments that he's shown, and the way that he walks, the way that he turns his head, you get the idea that he is a pushover. I will not believe this absolute dunce is anything like Superman. I'm sorry, all Clark Kent fans, I don't like it. Please don't kill me. But what we do get to see mostly throughout this whole entire trailer is Superman trying to blur the lines between what's right and what's wrong. I feel like this is probably a strong, kind of almost, I'd say modern. This is a very strong modern adaptation of what Superman would have to struggle with and what Superman would be like in our world today. Minus all of the lasers and kaijus going around, this would be honest. What would our Superman do? What would our Superman govern himself by? And depending on how they handle the scene in this trailer, I feel like that'll kind of tell us if they understand this character and if they know exactly what they're doing with him. Now, like I said, there are a ton of people in this trailer, and they only get maybe 1 to 2 seconds of screen time per whatever second they could get in. And they obviously didn't want to show much that could reveal a lot about the plot, but I'm hoping that he finds a sweet spot with balancing all these characters, his friends, his lover, and his enemies, because there are a lot of enemies that show up in this that might just be one-offs, that might be consistent. We're gonna have to see. And I feel like this trailer might be a bit of a misdirection. I feel like this movie is actively lying about one character, and that's Lex Luthor. I know I'm going to say this, and this is probably going to be true. I'm hoping it's true. Lex Luthor is going to be a lot of people's favorite character in this movie, and he's going to be what people love about this. And from my time playing the Lego Batman games, so I'm a professional, DC, and I skipped DC supervillains because it really didn't hit the same as the other Lego Batman games. Lex can be really captivating as a calm antagonist for Superman, and the few moments that they show in the trailer, he's very, very much crashing out. And he's very focused, he's very adamant to see what the F is this guy doing. I hate this guy. And it's not always, I guess, so evident with his hatred. He's very much calculated. He's not exactly, I'd say, a villain where you would always see him having a scene where he's yelling, where he's talking about his maniacal plan. But if he does, he's going to do it in the most calm and collected way, and it's probably already halfway finished. That's how calculated, and that's how, I guess, insane Lex Luthor can be. And the true method of how he becomes Superman's greatest enemy and proves himself has to be done well. I don't want to see another General Zod, and you know how that went. Overall, I'm feeling like everything shown in the trailer is pretty freaking positive. Everything is going pretty good, but I do have a couple of things. Let's get into what doesn't work. let's talk about what really doesn't work with this trailer. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you enjoy it. First of all, I wish it was LexCorp instead of LuthorCorp. That's mainly my Lego side showing. Anyways, I didn't want to get into much detail over Superman's friends in this movie, and if you think I'm going to go on the classic Twitter rant about costumes and character designs, no. And the people that do that are already annoying. Please stop. What irks me about this movie isn't lines on the suit, it isn't the color selection or the cinematography, which sometimes I can understand why people don't like it, but besides those few things that aren't really even that bad, what gets me with this is kind of the whole connective universe they're starting out with, which kind of feels a bit messy, to be honest. So, when James Gunn was first handed the keys to DC, we got a bit of a roadmap showing what exactly would be coming out over the next few years, what exactly would start off the new DCU. We also got established the Elseworlds like Teen Titans Go, the Batman.
That is swinging along.
Just talk to me.
Or a dance with a touch of
The Joker, and everything that came out throughout that time, what would be coming out, what would exactly be official, what would be an Elseworld. And I felt like back then that made a lot of sense, and it really did all fit together. But now, with Creature Commandos, I kind of don't like how this connective universe is starting to come together. And of course, since it's connected to Peacemaker and the second Suicide Squad movie, and all this is happening where Rick Flag apparently is in the movie from a leaked set photo, my biggest question is how it handles levity. What exactly will be the difference in these movies? Will it be a tonal whiplash where one DC movie is very hopeful and spirited, kind-spirited, and the next will be another gritty Creature Commandos like show? I feel like the variety on paper sounds like an amazing idea, but the general audience might not gel with it as much, so it might not be as successful. And that's probably the only concern I'd have going into this universe, because personally, it doesn't affect me that much. I love watching these high budget, really great movies that end up being more about character studies, and then I like watching the lower budget animated shows that end up being more just small, nicer, and filling in some space for the universe. I mean, the Penguin is its own Elseworld. That show's amazing, and it ties into the Batman universe beautifully. So if we get shows like that for the DCU in its own universe, then go for it. Yeah. I just really hope that this movie doesn't have the big drawback of having too much going on at once, because a lot of superhero movies fail because of that, where they have too many elements, too many heroes, too many villains, and it all just feels like a mess to kind of follow and go through. I know James can handle that though, so a lot of my fears are already tempered. I'm going into this with a high head, hoping for the best, and honestly, you should too. That's all I've had to say about the promotional material and these teasers and trailers, and I was pretty stoked for critiques, as you could tell, because there's not much they haven't done right so far going into this. And my only concerns being what hasn't even happened yet, what we haven't even seen yet. That shows a lot about how much I trust James Gunn, how much I trust DC at this point to get this right. And James Gunn can honestly teach a masterclass in making movies that seem like they would be messes, full of a bunch of different characters, and the movies where everyone could pick any character and they'd be like, yeah, that's my favorite. That's what he does best. And that fact alone gives me so much hype. I had one more thing that came to mind whenever I wrote this. One thing I noticed, especially in the Guardians trilogy, which I love and adore, was the writing for each villain in the trilogy got even better with time. I didn't really remember anything about Ronan. That's pretty much all my opinion on that. But Ego, he was amazing. And the High Evolutionary, top 5 MCU villain. Argue with your mother or a pencil sharpener. Don't care. James Gunn only gets better and better with every single movie and project that he does. And hopefully, this remains the same truth for Superman. Thank you for watching this video. I'm not new to YouTube. I used to post some music on here, and I'm kind of glad it's gone. But I'm new to this sort of content, this sort of different idea, these things I've never done before. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I'm giving a longer video a shot for a while, you know, just trying to figure it out for myself. But be sure to like and subscribe, turn on post notifications. I'm going to be doing videos every single Friday, and it's not all just going to be about superhero media. You'll see what I mean by that. For now, hope you had a good day. I know I'm doing okay. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.